Hello, my statisticians, and welcome to our final challenge. This video is meant to be an overview of what we will be doing in the next few videos so that you have an idea of what your time will be spent doing on this final challenge. So if you remember, some of our data earlier on in the semester was about the number of words spoken per day by people. So that was in one of our earlier challenges. So that data actually came from essentially this final challenge. So what we have here are two data sets representing male population and female population, really a sample from each, and then how many words were spoken per day by each individual. So for example, this represents a male who spoke 23,871 words in a day. So what we're going to be using this data for is to calculate a lot of the things we've been learning about throughout the semester. We will run hypothesis tests and confidence intervals for this data, but the videos that I'm making for this, I'm going to be walking you through all of this. The big difference in what I'm walking through and what you will be doing is that they're different data sets. So what we will be calculating will be the same, but the values you get will be different because you're using different data sets than me. So in saying that, for the most part, everything will remain the same, except for example, interpretations might change depending on what your data set ends up telling you, things like that. A big thing about this file, I will show you that it is self-grading. So at the very bottom left, on mine it is green, on yours it will be blue. This self-grades, so as you enter things, this will tell you if you are correct or not. So by the end of this Excel final challenge, you should know what score you get on it as you submit it. And I will point out, you can't just come over here and type things. It won't work that way. And I would be able to tell. So it needs to be self-graded. In saying that though, that self-grading thing only takes exact answers. So one major thing we will follow along this entire final challenge is that you cannot round values. If you round any value, it will count it as wrong. So as long as you're following along with me, and I do suggest like slowing down this video. If you remember that little gear icon at the bottom right of your where you're looking at me, you should be able to slow me down or speed me up if you want to. But in terms of doing what I'm doing in Excel, it might be very useful to slow me down, open your Excel final challenge right next to what I'm doing so that you can follow step by step with me. I will work through almost everything on here. Anything that I'm not working through, it's either an interpretation or it's something that we've already done in this file. So you, in theory, would be able to reproduce that. The only other thing I'll say before I stop this video and start showing you exactly how we will work through this is how the self-grading works. So for example, in this cell, it's looking for the mean of the male data. So if you remember, that function is average. So we can use equals average and then click and highlight all of our data for the number of words spoken by males. And if we close that and hit enter, it will round this. So these cells are automatically set to round to 2 decimal places. So this is not exact. If you were to come up here and add, you can see that there's more than just 2. But for visual appearances, they're rounded for 2. And if you come down here to the bottom, notice that our score has now increased. So again, what that tells us is that we correctly found the mean for the male sample. And so we don't have to go back and redo that. Okay, and this is really cool so that you know exactly what you're earning on this assignment before you even submit it for the course. And shout out to Dr. Leslie Meadows for constructing the self-grading type of structure of this. It's so cool. So this is another way Excel is amazing. Just wanted to point that out, that this idea that you can make it self-grade things. So cool. All right, in the next several videos, we will work through this together. Again, I have my own final challenge data set, and you will have your own file with different data, and your little score part will be blue, not green. So just make sure you're on the lookout for that. All right, I'll see you in the next several videos.